Welcome to Let's Talk Football with me, Chris.
And me, Richard.
The podcast bringing you the latest in football news. Every week we discuss all the big talking points from the world of football and preview all the action in the week to come.
In this week's podcast, Arsenal recover well to come back from behind twice to eventually beat Aston Villa as Manchester City drop points by drawing with Nottingham Forest. Manchester United come through some early scares before easing past Leicester, and Liverpool continue their recovery by beating Carabao Cup finalist Newcastle.
Lots to talk about this week, as always, with the Carabao Cup final coming up as well. So, let's talk football. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
How is things going? There's lots going on.
It's been an eventful weekend, hasn't it?
I mean, you didn't even mention takeover talks and stuff happening, takeover bids and changes of plans at Liverpool in the intro.
Yeah, it's been a packed week of news and incidents again.
Yes, as always. But we'll start with the football, I think, because there's some good games.
Otherwise,
over the
would
weekend.
Be the Let's Talk financial podcast, wouldn't we?
I mean, they're still football related, so it's all good. So yeah, Arsenal started off. Let's start with Arsenal.
Do we have to start with Arsenal? They were.
Well, yeah.
Oh, do you know
It was
what?
a bit
I
of
was
luck.
so annoyed.
Lenny Martinez giving back to his old club.
So annoyed.
A classic
It's like,
goalkeeping
you jammy.
own goal.
Oh. And it wasn't even like Jorginho hit the shot well.
Mm-hmm.
He just.
Yeah, they're always awkward for goalkeepers, though. Them.
They are. He's unlucky it comes off the back of his head. But
Yeah.
to be fair to the Arsenal fans, I think they probably were absolutely over themselves by the fact that that had happened to him after what he did to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just leaving. He's like, I'm not going to be number one. I'm going. Bye-bye.
Which, is fair enough. He can do what he likes. He's a World Cup winner.
He can do what he likes now. Yeah.
He's a World Cup winner now. He's fine. But yeah, I thought obviously you see him go down early, and then
came back. Yeah.
Especially after midweek, of course, because the City game, which was also a really good game of football.
Yeah.
But then they lose out there. They come back. They go down early against Villa.
Yeah.
That's the chance where they could have folded, and maybe Arsenal of last season
would have done. Yeah.
But they crawled themselves back into the game. Coutinho puts them back ahead again. Yeah. So, they've shown that they've got a bit of steel about them now.
Resilience, yeah, absolutely.
That they probably didn't have last season, particularly towards the end of the season last year.
They managed to keep the wheels on the wagon.
Yeah, and, because that's the lunchtime kick-off, you don't know the effect that late, those late 2 goals had on City. Because,
By all accounts, City had the majority of it.
Haaland.
Stick the ball in the net.
Haaland, I don't know what he'd done. I've never seen the player so good do something so silly.
No, Haaland is human, folks.
Why did he try and blast it in the net when he was there?
I have no
just put
idea.
it in. Just put it in there.
6 yards, yeah.
To be fair, he probably thinks, he probably thinks, I can hit this so hard, it's got to go in. That's the only thing in his defence. I think he's Haaland and he's thinking, I can just smack this and this is just going to go. And I can hit this hard as I like. I ain't got to worry about direction.
And it went high.
It just kept going.
It didn't go just high. It went high.
Yeah, I think it met Harry Kane's penalty on the way back down as that was coming down from the World Cup.
The two collided,
shot,
did they?
Yeah, that Haaland shot was going up.
Ricocheted back to Earth.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Couldn't believe it, to be quite honest. And
then obviously Chris Wood unmarked at the far post to give an unlikely point to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, very unlikely, but big for them. Big in the title race as well.
Down the bottom, that has put the cat amongst the pigeons with all the other results that happened at the weekend. Except, crazy afternoon.
Absolutely. The City dropped points. And then let's go. Let's talk about United then. Winners. Next on the intro.
I was going to say we're talking about the top 3.
We're not.
My friend.
We're not in a.
You, my friend.
We're not in a title race.
You are. I think you are.
We can't. Look, yeah, Arsenal have still got that. What happens with that game in hand, right?
Yeah.
For Arsenal, I think, then we can have a conversation.
But you are
Considering
3 points behind Manchester City.
Yeah.
They've got to play one another again.
I think, yeah, but I think that what happens with Arsenal in that game, in that game in hand next week, which is against Everton at the Emirates, which I'd expect them to win.
Yeah.
That then puts the gap back between us and them back to 8 points. That's a big gap.
Yeah,
8 points at the top of the league is a big gap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough.
And I just don't think we're going to drop points. You know, because we practically have.
Yeah, of course.
We practically have to be next to perfect to win the league from here.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we can be.
Fair enough.
I don't think we're going to. You know, something happens to Rashford.
Who is on fire.
Who's literally the best player in the world right now. What is it, 16 in 17 since...
I don't know. Obviously, we had a conversation... I was thinking about this earlier. We had a conversation earlier in the season about Marcus Rashford.
Yeah.
Where you described him as Walcott or Messi. Didn't you?
No, Walcott or Pele.
Oh, Walcott or Pele, sorry.
That's not me. That's
Sorry.
Shout out Alternate United, who does like text-to-speech...
All right, okay, yeah. Walcott
commentary
Pele,
on the games, and his whole thing is Walcott or Pele.
And he is being
he's 100% Pele. He's 100% Pele right now. Everything. I mean, you take it back to that Barca game last week. I don't know how he scores that.
No, from that angle, no.
I mean, you know, Ter Stegen probably has to take a little bit of criticism for that.
Yeah.
But the pace and the power, you can't be expecting that there.
No.
You will be disappointed
playing
though.
At the peak of his powers, Marcus.
He's so good. He's literally the best. He's the best right now. There's not a player in world football that can touch him at this particular moment in time.
Not for his goal scoring record, no, absolutely not. And you swept aside Leicester in the end.
Yeah, and gets him up to 24 this season, which now makes it his most prolific season.
Ever, yeah.
And we've still got 14 league games and hopefully a few more cup games to go.
Yeah.
So you know he's got a chance of.
What did you think
he's got a
on
chance
the
of 30 goals.
Sabitzer challenge that they were looking at?
I mean, I think what helps Sabitzer is that he very obviously pulls out of it very quickly and he doesn't follow through on it.
Yeah.
I think if he follows through on it, I think Faz is in trouble. Yeah. I think Faz is in trouble anyway, you know, with his leg.
Yeah.
So I think that's what say. I think it's high. I think it's a little reckless. Those side-on ones are always bad.
Yeah.
I don't like it when players do moves going sideways like that.
Yeah.
I won't go as far as saying what Souness was saying when he was on about saying he's gone in to do him there.
No, of course he hasn't.
It's absolute nonsense. Get off my TV screen. It'll probably be Paul Pogba's fault. The reason he didn't get a red card is because of Paul Pogba. I think that is universally accepted. I think as far as Souness is concerned.
Yeah,
I think he was a bit lucky. I think he was a bit lucky. But yeah, we're going well. We're doing brilliantly. Obviously, all this takeover talk now is what's going to rule headlines, I think, about United's.
Did I see and I read correctly that the Glazers want $6 billion?
I mean, that is the reported number. I think you've got to remember though, this is all reported. It'll be part of their negotiating what they want and putting it out there. So I reckon it'll probably go for about 4.5, 5. I think once it's all said and done.
When you think how much debt the club is in, obviously the new owner would have to take on the debt as well.
Well, it depends who gets it. Then if it's the Qatari bid that wins through, which has its issues. There's no denying that in terms of the social aspects of it all. But the guy has said that he'll come in, wipe off the debt. Invest in the men's and the women's team.
Yeah.
Obviously, make the changes to Old Trafford, update Carrington.
Yeah, all those things that fans like to hear. Yeah.
All the things that the fans wanted the Glazers to kind of do.
Yeah.
They never did.
The Radcliffe one is.
The Radcliffe one's slightly different because they have to leverage still, but they wouldn't leverage on the club. So
they'd get a loan. Yeah.
The debt would sit within Ineos, not Manchester United.
Right. Okay.
And I think they were on about moving the $500 million out of the club as well, moving that into Ineos.
Wasn't there something about buying homegrown players only as well, or did I dream that?
That's nonsense, isn't it? Really, I mean, we all want our.
It was something that I did read.
even if it's out, I can't imagine that anyone would be that silly to go, oh, we're only going to buy English players, we're only going to do this. I mean, that's such a silly thing to do.
You've got a tax on English players anyway when you buy them.
Well, there's that, and it just doesn't make sense to do that from a footballing point of view. If you want to be the best team in Europe,
you buy the best players.
You've got to have a team that has a mixture of talent from all over, because that's where the talent is.
Yeah,
you know,
great.
if the English was that good, we would have won the World Cup.
All right, that's two gigs at Harry Kane so far.
I mean, yeah, the pillock. His fault. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, because obviously, there's the Ratcliffe bid's not exactly clean from a moral standpoint.
I'm going to ask you
either.
a question here. Is it a distraction that you really need at this point in time, given how well you play?
Well, it was going to happen, and if anything, it's because I think the excitement from the fans will be there, because the Glazers are probably going.
Yeah, in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah. So in some respects, I think the fans, it won't disseminate from the fans onto the pitch, because the players have been dealing with Glazer chants all season and stuff like that anyway. So I don't think it'll be a massive issue. I think Ten Hag will be very good at keeping them focused. He's shown that at various points this season when things are happening off the pitch. I mean, when the Greenwood news came out the other week, everyone thought that might be a bit of a disruption.
But no,
they sailed.
Focus on football. Yeah,
they sailed through that situation. I think the club statement actually with that kind of helped settle that one down for now.
Yeah,
I think that'll get resolved. I think maybe once the new I think the new owners come in, that might change stance there as well. But that's a different issue. That's a different issue for another day. But yeah, I was just saying earlier as well. Morally there's going to be issues. But there's issues for both, because I don't think the Jim Ratcliffe bid is necessarily clean from a morality point of view.
Doesn't sound like it. No,
they've got issues as a chemical company, and they've been getting heavily into sport, whether that's through the ownership in Nice, their cycling team, and various other sports that they're investing in. Obviously, they've got the sponsorship with Mercedes. They're one of the lead sponsors for Mercedes in F1. And they're being accused of what they call greenwashing, and then obviously you've got the sports washing that's potential with the Qatari bid as well. There's other hedge funds in there. There's a couple of other bids that we don't know anything about what they would be. Some of those might be potentially offers of just investment,
rather than taking a stake in the club rather than buying it outright. Or
taking off the ownership from the other Glazer the Glazer family, and leaving Joel and
Avram,
that's him.
Oh, he is. Blimey, that was a good guess.
Joel and Avram have potentially want to stay with the club. I don't understand why. Everyone hates them. They have done nothing to do any. I just don't understand it, why they'd want to stay if they've got, whatever they take, they're going to make massive profit off of this. Yeah,
agreed.
As a family, when Malcolm came in and bought it all those years ago, but they're going to make a massive profit, because I think they bought it for like 300 or 400 mil.
Yeah, and if you're going to sell it for 4,
they're going to sell it for they're going to sell it for around 4 bill. I mean, they're laughing. Absolutely. So I think. Yeah. I mean, news is, the reports are that the Qatari bid is probably ahead at the moment, but there are a couple of bids that we just don't know anything about. One of them that we think is from a hedge fund,
right?
And then there's a fourth one in there that no one really knows too much about, because technically they should have all been private bids anyway.
Yeah, they shouldn't have been publicised.
But the PR teams are out for the Qatari bid, and they're out for Jim Ratcliffe, and they're both those two are vying for fans. You are starting to see a bit of a split in the United fandom as well,
which can't be helpful. Of that. Yeah,
it's not helpful, but that'll be to be quite honest, it doesn't really matter who wins the PR battle because it's going to be whoever gives the Glazers the most money, I think.
Agreed. Yeah. That's what it's all going to come down to, isn't it?
Yeah.
About the amount
because
of
they
zeros.
don't care. They don't care enough to worry about the future of the football club.
No, because once they're done with it, that's it.
Yeah. They if it was, back when, we say that back when, but, Martin Edwards practically did the same thing, and he was supposed to be United through and through, that guy, and then he sold us off to this family anyway.
Yeah, true.
So, and he was someone that supposedly cared about the football club. Was chairman for many, many years at Manchester United before the Glazer takeover. I mean, the Glazer takeover was a little bit hostile by all accounts. But they leveraged it on the club, and we know the history from then. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. Obviously, we've got the big game, Barcelona, coming this week, which we're really hopeful for, and the Carabao Cup final, which we'll preview a little bit later. But no, really good. We will move on now, though. Do you want to talk about your team before we talk about Liverpool's recovery?
Please. I'd love to talk about.
You've won, and there is a reason, and my reason still stands, because every time you've won a game in the last 3 or 4 months, there's one common
denominator.
Yeah, and that is the fact that your manager is not on the sideline.
Yeah. Reports are, and there are some rumours going around that I haven't seen anything to substantiate those rumours.
Yeah.
But there are rumours going around that Antonio Conte has said, no, I'm off. Goodbye.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Well, they reckon he's going to be back at the beginning of March. I don't think he's going to rush, because obviously he rushed already and ended up like he has.
So would that be your second leg?
So it would be the second leg of the Champions League or Wolves at home. So, yeah, interesting. Anyway, to the game itself at the weekend, Emerson Royale. What a beauty.
I mean, he seems to have found... It's like...
He's found a new lease of life.
Do you know what it is, though? He hasn't got Conte shouting in his ear for 90 minutes, and he's just getting able to get on with his job, running up and down the wing, and he's just got Conte shouting at him probably as he's running up and down.
Yeah, I'd hate to be on that near touchline. Yeah.
So,
but no, I mean, he took his guy. I mean, Ben Davies on the other side. Obviously, Davies was the wing back this weekend, and I don't know why we haven't done that sooner.
I mean, he is a wing. He is a left back.
He is a left back. I know he's a left back.
He is a left back. So I don't know why he's been playing that position so long when he's clearly been uncomfortable. It's not like it's been a Kyle Walker / Luke Shaw situation where they've found it to be comfortable in that sort of position.
No, Ben. To be fair, I love Ben Davies. I always have. He is a worker. Yeah. He gives 110%, and that's all I ask for every week.
But he's a left back, not a centre back.
No. He's a left-sided centre back. But
he's always. You see, he never seems comfortable though, as on that left of the three for me.
Yeah,
I always feel like he's the one you can get at when you're in there.
He is out of the three of them. Yeah, he's probably the most vulnerable out of the three of them. But to find himself in that position, I mean, it's a lovely pass from Pierre through to him, and I was like, "What the hell are you doing here?" And then I looked across, and Emerson Royale was playing centre forward. Yeah,
almost like Dallow's absolute shocker.
Yeah,
but the opposite.
I saw Dallow's one earlier.
He just panicked. He was just like, "What am I doing up here? I don't know what I'm doing."
That's like me when I get in the box. Yeah. I genuinely don't know why.
You just got to tap. You just got to tap that in with your left. You just got to tap it. You don't go with the outside of your right foot when the ball's coming across you like that. But he's not a striker, so we let him off.
No, we let him off. Yeah. But no, Emerson took his goal well. Obviously, Sonny was on the bench, came on, and
had a point to prove. I feel at that point.
Yeah.
After being dropped. But deservedly he's been dropped, by the way.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't been playing well. I mean, he had the one game. He had the City game. He played really well, didn't he? He was everywhere in that game. But other than that, really,
he played very well in the Premier League for the majority of the season. So Richarlison earned his opportunity.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Didn't take it, but he earned it.
He earned it for sure. And then Son went, "That's my space, mate."
Yeah. West Ham though, terrible, dreadful on the day.
Oh, they're
in trouble. They were going to be up for it.
Yeah, they've been so bad this year.
Given what happened on Saturday, I thought they're going to turn us over. They're going to find a way to beat us, but they never look like it.
No. And it's getting interesting down there now.
I mean, it really is. Obviously, the results at the weekend have completely thrown it all up in the air again.
Well, we can start going through some of those now. Let's start with the Southampton game.
What a result for Southampton. What a result for the caretaker.
Massive result for Leeds. For Southampton, sorry.
Yeah.
And they needed it because they were starting to get left behind a bit.
Yeah.
And this just pulls them straight back in it now. You know, it's still only... I mean, the gaps are starting to appear now because where it was like 5 points between 11th and 20th, it's now 5 points to 15th to 20th. Yeah. So the gaps are starting to appear now in the bottom half of the table. You're starting to see who's going to be in and around.
I would say from
spaces.
Crystal Palace down, you should be looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, they're what, 6
Crystal
points?
Palace are not playing particularly well.
Yeah.
They can't buy a win.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I would be, if I was Patrick Vieira, I would be looking over my shoulder slightly, just to sort of keep an eye on what's going on below you.
Yeah, I think they do. The thing is, they've got the firepower. I think Palace, especially against the teams that down that end of the table, that they'll score enough goals.
Yeah, there was an interesting stat from that game. I know we're jumping around a little bit.
Yeah, no,
but Crystal Palace have not beaten a team in the top half of the league this season.
That's unbelievable. Well, it's probably why they're in the bottom half of the table.
Yeah. Obviously, they came so close against Brentford, but yeah.
Yeah, so close. 6 minutes of added time. That one.
Jan Holt scored, yeah. But no, James Ward-Prowse, obviously, 17th free kick, now one behind Mr. Beckham.
I mean, he's going to take it, and there's just...
Oh, of course he is. Absolutely.
He's got years left in him. But on the flip side, Chelsea...
Well, they can't buy a goal, can they?
I feel so sorry for Graham Potter because this was such a great opportunity for him.
Yeah.
To get into this club, and then they've just drowned him in international players, right? Which everyone might go, well, they spent all this money, but when you've got a squad that big, you've got to manage that squad. You've got to try, and there's like 10 players, probably maybe even more this season. I don't know how many they brought overall. How many is it they brought overall this season?
Goodness, about 14, 15.
Yeah,
Nottingham Forest territory.
I think there is about 10 of them, isn't there, that are in the squad though? Because I think a few of them have gone back out on loan to their clubs.
Yeah,
particularly the ones in January. A couple of them. So you've got 10 players in there, right? And you think about it, a lot of the players that were there anyway aren't in the best of form.
No.
But really, you've got Kovacic, you've got Mount, you've got Chilwell, just looking through their first team, Azpilicueta and Kepa. So that's, 5 of the starting 11 were here last season.
Yeah.
But it's such a change. And then you've got issues like you've got so many players, you've got too many players that you can't get them all into your squads. Yeah. That's going to create issues. You've got people that just don't know each other very well. Probably speaking about 5 different languages in the dressing room because they've come over fresh and maybe they're learning their English and it's not perfect.
Obviously, they've got Fofana up front, who is a very young player.
Yeah,
and that's a very difficult position to play when you're very young. Obviously, they lost Borja during the international break.
Yeah, it's a tough job to pull all that together with all those players. It must be hell because he's got about 30 players in his squad, which means he's got to go around and tell 19 people they're not playing.
Yeah, I
saw
something at the weekend. I'm not sure if it was a joke or whether it was a genuine thing. That they're going to make the Chelsea dressing room bigger because they need to fit all the players in. Yeah,
but I mean, even coaching that many players. I mean, I'm no expert on coaching, but surely having that many people on a field at once when you're trying to get in a process and a way of playing, it's going to be difficult to get that across,
7 changes a game, which is not healthy.
Yeah.
You can't chop and change that often. But he's searching for an answer.
They needed to get players out of that dressing room for him.
Yeah, but the question was who?
Well, he might have to turn around at some point and go, right, this is my squad. Everyone else, I'm really sorry.
Towards the end of the season, I think he'll do that.
I'm really sorry, guys, but this is the squad that I'm working with going forward.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain players he has to have in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. There'll be certain players that he has to. So, he can't have Mudryk and and Enzo on their 8-year contracts not involved. But
No.
we've already seen. I think essentially we've seen the end of Aubameyang.
Yeah.
When the second he didn't get in the European squad and they replaced him, so he's sort of been pushed out to the side. And I think we're going to have to see a lot of that. And I think they're going to have to take them out completely from the dressing room.
Yeah, they're going to have to
move them away, because otherwise they're just going to be a pain to be around.
Yeah.
Because Graham Potter showed what he can do at Brighton, getting a team playing really good football.
He has to be given the time.
They
can't just get rid of him.
They can't. Yeah, they've just dumped all this on him and gone, there you go.
Well,
and then, and he'll get the criticism. Oh, they've invested in the team. They've given you all these great players. You've got to do something with them. But oh my God, I couldn't imagine having to deal with that many people.
No, he look. I tell you, Graham Potter. If you saw him at Brighton,
being a teacher,
how well he looks at Brighton compared to how well he looks at Chelsea. He looks like a broken man.
Yeah, it's just a lot to deal with, though, and I think Todd Bowley has just come in and just gone.
Well, they've just essentially just taken loads of things out of a basket, thrown them at the wall, and see what landed and see what didn't.
I'd be very interested to see how involved Graham Potter's been.
Yeah.
With that process of bringing in players.
Oh, Bovey's just got out and gone. Do you know what?
It does feel like that, doesn't it? It does feel like he's probably talked to the scouting team. The scouting team have gone, yeah, well, we've been looking at him, and him.
Yeah.
And he's gone, okay, we'll buy them all.
Yeah.
And then
the Enzo Fernandez deal didn't make sense at all.
He's watched the World Cup.
Yeah.
And gone, oh, great, we'll bring him in.
Yeah.
I mean, and what the only person
5 million, you say? Here we go. Let me just open my wallet.
And the only person they really moved on was Jorginho.
Yeah.
It's the only player
who was playing.
He was in the first team. It's bizarre, and you look
full
at the
credit
team.
Southampton.
Yeah, Southampton were really good. They needed that. Like I said, they were starting to get cut adrift. But no, good result for them. And then also a really good result down the bottom of the table for Bournemouth.
Yes, who were battered in the first half.
Oh yeah, they should have been. They should have been 2 or 3 down, but at half time.
Yeah, and then they got themselves a goal, and then Wolves just didn't know what to do.
No, I mean they're struggling for goals, Wolves as well.
Yeah,
I mean obviously other than the Liverpool game, they haven't scored a great many.
No.
So that'll be worrying for Wolves where the goals are going to come from. Yeah, they look quite.
Leeds are the top scorer out of the bottom 6.
Yeah,
20.
But they are conceding goals like nothing. Leeds.
No, Bournemouth, good result for them. Needed that. They desperately needed that.
Absolutely, and obviously down there, the real big result was Everton and Leeds, because that was the one where 2 teams down there in the battle.
What is Meslier doing for the goal? Have you seen it?
No, I didn't, to be honest.
Oh, so Seamus Coleman, right?
Yeah.
He's got the ball on the right-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming towards the byline.
Okay.
There is not an Everton player in the 18-yard area or on the edge of the 18-yard area.
Right.
Meslier is on the 6-yard line looking at Seamus Coleman.
No. And he just goes, I'll pass that into the net.
And he just shot into the net beyond him. I have no idea why he's not on his line. Because there's no danger in front of him.
Yeah.
All the danger is to the side of him. So why are you anticipating a cross into the box?
It's not ideal.
There's no one there.
It's not ideal, that's for sure.
I even watched it again to make sure that there was no one there.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
It's poor goalkeeping from a player that has probably been one of Leeds' better performers.
No, it's very true. It's unfortunate for him. But Leeds are in trouble.
But they now have a new manager at last.
They do.
With Javi Garcia.
Oh, yeah, Javi Garcia. With him coming in, I mean, obviously, it's a massive challenge.
It's a massive challenge for a man that hasn't lasted a year at a club other than Cadiz.
Yeah.
In his managerial career.
It's going to be. I think Leeds could be going.
It smacks of desperation.
Yeah, it's just. There's got to be more experienced people that you could have probably gone for in that position.
Well, Harry Redknapp put his hand up.
Didn't he? Yeah.
He put his hand up. I would have snapped his arm off.
Yeah.
for 4 or 5 months of Harry.
Yeah.
Because he knows how to save you. Yes, he's 70 odd years old, but he's got the experience to get you out of trouble.
No, I think that would have been a really good idea, to be honest, for Leeds.
Even Sam. Even Allardyce.
Yeah, but Sam went down last time, didn't he, with West Brom?
Yeah, but...
And Leeds haven't really got the player that would have suited Sam, I don't think.
It just seemed...
they haven't got that. They haven't...
Desperation with Garcia.
The Sam Allardyce, that would never have worked. You look at the profile of player at Leeds, it's never going to work for Sam Allardyce, that.
But his win percentage, on average, 41%.
Yeah.
His win average.
Well, we shall... No, it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a struggle. Sean Dyche is doing the business at Everton.
Yes.
But I'm believing again, I think that they can stay up. Obviously, they still have the disappointment of the Merseyside derby, but...
but if they can win their home games...
That's it. They'll be fine. I think now you'll see this trajectory. I think Sean Dyche, with that level of player, will do a good job in the league.
Yeah.
For sure. And then the last game, I think... Well, no, we've got 2 games that we haven't talked about. So we'll go to no, I'll tell you what, because we'll link that into the Carabao Cup final. So let's talk about Fulham-Brighton.
Yeah.
Fulham are having a brilliant season. Absolutely phenomenal season. And they very well...
Champions League place.
They very well could be in your... I don't think they'll get the Champions League spots. That's a stretch. I think Newcastle and Tottenham will be the battle there. But they could go into Europe. But Liverpool are closing the gap now.
Yes, and they've got games in hand.
Yeah. Liverpool are closing that gap down.
Fulham would have just taken survival at the start.
Yeah.
They are 2 points away from making it official.
Liverpool have got 2 games in hand, and Brighton have got 2 games in hand on them, actually. And they're both on 35. Brentford are on 35 to also have a game in hand, so they could all of a sudden find themselves in 9th without playing another game.
They could.
Having done nothing wrong. So let's temper that a little bit.
I'm just getting excited for them.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time to be a Fulham fan. They're winning away from home, Chris. I remember a time when Fulham never used to do that.
You and Newcastle just need to get your stuff together between now and the end of the season, because we can't be... Liverpool need to be
dealt with.
have a season off. You know what I mean? They can't come from being the worst they've ever been and end up in the Champions League. No.
I mean, we'll try our best.
Yeah, because they played really well. Obviously, there was the red card in that game, but I thought they were showing some signs.
Oh, they were superb. For the first half hour, Newcastle didn't know what to do.
No, obviously they did score their goals while there were 11 on the pitch anyway.
Yes.
But I think what might worry Klopp, potentially, and I don't know, he's an odd man.
You don't know him?
No, I don't know him, but but what might worry him is that they didn't kick on after it went down to 10 men. They didn't really need to, though, did they? They were kind of in cruise control. It was a bit of didn't really offer much. I feel like it was a bit of an opportunity for him, though. You think about, obviously, it was great for Gakpo to get on the goal sheet again.
It was a chance for them to go and fill their boots. Yeah.
Yeah, get some more confidence running through the team. Instead they chose to stand off it again and play 70 minutes against 10 men. Not really, because Liverpool of old would have gone for the throat, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they would have done. Absolutely.
They would have gone for it, and it could have been anything. It could have been, real humiliation.
But then that's a team that is playing their way back into confidence. You could see that.
Yeah. But that was. I just thought it was just an opportunity for him to kind of get some goals and get some confidence throughout the whole team. I mean, when was the last time Salah scored?
Couldn't tell you.
Well, it was in the Merseyside derby, wasn't it? But consistently, he hasn't been his best, has he? And I think this is an opportunity for him again. It was great for Nunez and Gakpo to get themselves goals.
Yeah.
But they had that before the 10 men anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the red card.
Oh, Lord. Nick
Pope. Oh, Nick Pope. Oh, dear. I mean, what a legend. He didn't fancy the final, I don't think. No. That's the only thing I can think of. He didn't fancy the final. Because that's the only reason you make it. It's instinctive, isn't it?
Decision.
It's just instinctive, I think, at that point. I mean, we talked about it a little, didn't we, before we started, where it's just like, he got into that situation. He goes with his head. He misses it. He panics.
And then just grabs it. Yeah.
And grabs it. Instincts kick in as a goalkeeper. And he's grabbed it. And he would have known the second he did it as well.
He grabbed it. Play stopped. He went to kick the ball away and then kicked Kieran Trippier, which I thought was quite fun.
Who then subsequently had to come off about after 64 minutes, didn't he? But I assume that wasn't. I assume that wasn't related.
No, but he'd probably give him a good kick.
It puts them in a tricky position going into the Carabao Cup final, though.
It really does. Yeah.
Goalkeeper, well, obviously Dubravka is cup tied because he played for United earlier in the competition.
Yeah, so he could. Well, he's going to get a medal either way, Dubravka.
I mean, technically, yes. No, because he won't get one. He won't get one if Newcastle win.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because he's cup tied,
played, is he?
So he wouldn't get one. But imagine he goes up. Oh, imagine United win. We go to get their medals, and Dubravka goes up with the United players to get his medal.
I think that would be wise.
Did you imagine? It's like, hang on, I've earned this.
Yeah. I've earned those 2 games that I played for Manchester United. I never played any more, but
I played in those. I played in the early rounds of this competition. I deserve my medal. Do you reckon they'd send it him in the post? I reckon he should go. I reckon if United win at the weekend, Dubravka has to go up and get his medal with the rest of the United team.
It'll be something he has to keep an eye on.
I don't think he will. But it'd be so funny. I mean, it would be good though. It would be good.
It would be.
But to be honest, it'll be the second time we've benefited from cup-tied lone goalkeepers.
Yes, because obviously
in this competition. Dean Henderson didn't play in the semi-final, and now Dubravka can't take the place of Nick Pope.
No,
which leaves them with the man, the myth, the legend. That is Loris Karius.
Yeah.
Who hasn't played a game for an English football team since the final of the Champions League, where he had an absolute mare for Liverpool against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping for some more of the same. And this isn't personal against Newcastle, because I'm really happy that Newcastle are doing well again. Genuinely. Yeah. Genuinely, I am.
But when it comes to
Sunday,
it's a choice between you or them.
Yeah, Sunday is a different story, and I want some Karius. I want some classic Karius situations at the weekend. I want Shah and Botman to be absolutely shaking because they're not sure quite what their goalkeeper's going to do at any given moment. Well, their goalkeeper
that will be playing, or probably playing in the Carabao Cup final, has been in Milan for the last few days.
Oh, so he's chilling. Maybe it's part of his psychological prep.
Maybe his phone isn't working.
Maybe he'd gone off on holiday. He'd go, Loris, we need you back. Oh, voicemail.
Yeah, Loris.
If not, it'll be down to young Gillespie.
Yeah, I mean, it could well be a debut for Mark Gillespie. Yeah,
it's going to be an interesting game, though, I think.
Yeah, with all the factors that are going into it. Yeah.
Because obviously
unfortunately, I won't be at home to watch it, but I'll catch it later.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because you think about the two stories. I think football's about stories, and the two stories going into it for either side is United haven't won anything. They want to get Erik ten Hag a trophy early, so that one gets dealt with. That early one is the thing that haunted Ollie in the end when he lost his semi-finals and he lost the Europa League final. Of you need to win a trophy, you need to get in that first trophy.
He was the manager of Ajax when we beat them in the Champions League as well.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd bring that up.
Well, I mean, you can go for it, but I think he's a different animal with this squad.
Yeah. And then obviously you've got the Newcastle story of they haven't won anything in so long. Yeah, they've
got the new owners who'll be desperate as well for their first trophy to get that trophy over the line as they've come in. So it's going to be a really, really good contest. I'm just really hoping that Karius comes up.
Has a very bad day at the office.
Yeah. He has just a normal day at the office for him, let's be honest.
Normal day at the office.
Normal day. We don't need him to have a bad one, just have a normal day. But, yeah, it's going to be good. Casemiro's going to have his first domestic game back as well for that one, which is huge. But obviously Bruno Guimaraes is back. For Newcastle. So there's a lot of intrigue. There's a lot going on. Obviously Rashford is just on fire right now, and I wouldn't want to be a defender in any team. And there was just this one thing. obviously Newcastle don't play midweek, and United are playing Thursday. But I was watching something, and they made a very good point. Newcastle have got all week to think about the final, which in some ways gives them a chance to prep, but in other ways gives them a chance to think about it all week.
Yeah,
because the maybes, the ifs, the doubts have time to creep in. No. All these things for players who haven't been up there either. They haven't been in these positions. They don't have the experience in that. Whereas the United players who have Varane, you've got Casemiro, you've got David De Gea, all players that have won things at the top level in their careers, have been there, done it, and that helps. Plus the fact that United are just going game after game after game, doesn't give them real much time to think about the occasion.
No,
because the focus is always on that, and especially when they'll probably only have one, maybe two training sessions anyway between the game on Friday, the game on Thursday night, and the final on the Sunday.
Head on the chopping block. Are you going to win?
Yeah, I think we will.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we will.
Me too.
I'm scarred because of the way we've been the last few years, but the rest of the fan base is very, very, very much more in a confident place than what I am.
You're going to be sitting cowering in the corner. No, not again.
Yeah,
not again.
Just shoot. It doesn't matter where you are on the pitch. Just shoot at carries.
And the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah, just hit the target, and he'll sort everything else out for us. Hopefully, you'll have a blinder now. He'll have the game of his blooming life now. But yeah, there we are then. That's the Carabao Cup coming up. Shall we have a little look around the world and see what's going on?
Let's take a trip around the world, shall we? So I'm going to pick up where I started last week, as Huddersfield come from behind to beat Birmingham 2-1 in Neil Warnock's first game back in charge. There was also a first win for another old stager as Mick McCarthy's Blackpool beat Stoke by 1-0, leaving all three sides in the bottom three in the Championship on 31 points. The relegation battle is heating up. Next to the Bundesliga title race, which took another couple of turns at the weekend. Bayern Munich lost. Union Berlin could only draw, which left the door open for Dortmund, who won by 4-1 to jump into second place. But they are level on points with both Bayern and Union Berlin. The top six are only separated by 5 points. The Bundesliga title race is the one to keep your eye on. Not so much in Italy, though. To Serie A, where the top 5 all won. 6th place, Atalanta lost, which allows Juventus, remember them, to close the gap to 9. Could they qualify for Europe despite a 10-point deduction? We shall see. In Ligue 1, Marseille come from a goal down to beat Toulouse to keep the pressure on PSG, who won thanks to a 95th minute winner by Lionel Messi to get past Lille. In La Liga, Getafe won a huge battle at the bottom as they beat Valencia by 1-0, putting them in bigger danger of relegation. At the top, Barca and Real both won 2-0 as Real Madrid prepare for Atletico at the weekend. In the A-League, the Adelaide United and Western Sydney game, they played out a classic 4-4 draw. Elsewhere, in the Battle of the Melbournes, the Victory beat the City by 3-2. In the WSL, it's on a mid-season break for the Arnold Clark Cup. Where's my car, Arnold? For mentioning you. England are currently 2 wins from 2 at the time of recording. They play their next game on Friday. And to Saudi Arabia, we finish up today with the top 3 still all level on points. No goal for Cristiano Ronaldo this week, but Al Nassr, they did win.
Well, there's lots going on. Lots going on indeed. Donis, what's he up to?
First of all, we've had a thing sent in from one of our listeners.
Have we?
Yes.
Blimey.
They have sent us something to make us smile.
Go on then.
So the Bolton Wanderers, they have a name for their stadium. They've always had it. The Reebok, the Macron. Well, now it will be known as the Tuft Sheet. That's
the what? Sorry.
Sheet. Tuft Sheet.
No way.
Community Stadium.
It's just no way.
On a 5-year deal.
Who are tough? There's just no way. There's no way that they've got. That's a really good sponsorship deal, and like radio presenters are gonna have to say it, TV presenters are gonna have to say it. This isn't. Oh, how have they allowed that to go through? Oh, that's gonna be.
So it won't change its name now. It's from next season.
Yeah.
It'll still be known as the University of Bolton Stadium till the end of the season.
Who are? I mean, what do they do?
I presume they make some sort of sheet.
I mean, it sounds right, but yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that one. Pronouncing that one. Jeff Stelling, Gillette Soccer Saturday. He's taking. Everyone's taking them all to Tough Sheet. It's off to Tough Sheet. What else could be happening? What else could be happening down there? Things are getting tight at the Tough Sheet. I mean, it's writes itself, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. But you're asking about Donis.
Yes, Donis.
To move us along quickly.
What's Donis doing? Is he going to Bolton? He's got to move to Tough Sheet next season.
They lost by 2-1 against a very good Sturm Graz side, it has to be said. Now, we were talking about Donis' involvement within the game last week.
Yeah.
He didn't set up the goal.
Right.
But he did have a shot before the goal was scored. So technically, he's had something involved in the play before the goal.
That's a half assist. That's a half assist.
He was actually on the pitch when they scored, which is a marked improvement on last week. It
is massive. But Donis is the best. We all know Donis is the best. That's why we picked him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, that's Donis then. Do we want to have a quick look at we talked about the Carabao Cup game, but should we have a look at what else is going on in the Premier League this weekend?
So yeah, there are 8 Premier League games to keep our eyes on this weekend, starting with Friday night football. Fulham back on Friday night football against Wolves. Then it's Everton against Aston Villa, Leicester against Arsenal, West Ham versus Nottingham Forest, Leeds against Southampton, before 2 late games on your Saturday night. Bournemouth and Manchester City are at 5:30. Crystal Palace and Liverpool are at 7:45. That should be another corker between those two. And then there's a small matter on Sunday before the Carabao Cup final of Tottenham versus Chelsea.
Lots of good games this weekend.
Yeah.
As well as the cup final as well, just to round it all off.
Another big game at the bottom between Leeds and Southampton.
Absolutely massive. Palace and Liverpool, like I said,
West
always
Ham,
a belter.
Nottingham Forest as well.
Yeah, big important games. And then obviously Chelsea will get their obligatory 3 points.
Oh yeah, Dr. Tottenham will see you now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is Conte back on? No, he's not. You might be all right, actually. No, you might be all right. Conte's still in Italy. You might be okay. But yeah, no, thank you very much for listening this week. If you would like our friend who gave us the news about Bolton, if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can tweet us at Let's Football Pod. You can email us at letsfootballpod@gmail.com. We'll be back next week with all the news from the Carabao Cup final and the Premier League games. But for now, we will see you all very, very soon. Take care. Goodbye.
Bye.